Welcome on back to the channel, everybody. I'm Kiki, and in today's video we're going to talk a little bit about PoTS, and by that I mean postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. That is a mouthful, and that is why we call it PoTS. But please ignore the mess that is my room. I am in the process of making more dice, so keep on the lookout for my Etsy. So, PoTS is under the umbrella term of dysautonomia, which is basically a bunch of different conditions to where you're autonomic. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't. I don't even know that I'm pronouncing it right. But it's when your nervous system is malfunctioning in some sort. With my PoTS, I raise, I believe, 35 beats per minute from changing positions. A lot of people, it's primarily just upon standing. But I know my heart starts to race when I sit, if I lay down too fast. It's kind of a whole bunch of different things. Your breath can kind of catch. It looks different for everybody. Some people will faint with PoTS, and some people will not. I got very fortunate that it has not made me faint yet. I know I've gotten very, very, very close, but I haven't gone completely out. So I guess that's a plus. If you can say there's a plus. So each word in PoTS has its own meaning. So postural is kind of the position of your body. Orthostatic is related to standing. Your tachycardia could be your heart rate raising above 100 beats per minute. And syndrome is a group of things that happen at the same time. Your autonomic nervous system, it kind of like, it balances blood pressure and heart rate, and it's supposed to keep it going no matter how you're sitting, standing, laying. But with PoTS, you can't really keep that stable. It can affect pretty much anybody, but it mainly affects women between the ages of 15 to 50 years. I don't know when mine officially started. They think that the Lyme is the root cause of it, but they're not really sure. My doctor keeps saying, oh, if we treat the Lyme, we treat the PoTS. But from everything that I'm kind of putting together, is you really can't cure it. You just manage the symptoms. So I was put on fludrocortisone, which has been fantastic. It hasn't like completely taken away all of the symptoms for me. My heart rate still raises over 30 beats per minute, changing positions. But it definitely has decreased the severity of it. It doesn't work for everybody. It works differently for some people. Supposedly, though, I'm not supposed to be taking it because it is a steroid, and steroids are kind of a no-go for Lyme patients. So there's that. But you're not necessarily born with PoTS. You can develop it over time. So if you get different diseases, illnesses, sometimes getting pregnant can change that. Sometimes even just a concussion, which I've had like 10 concussions in my life. Most of them due to hockey. One of them was roller derby, and one of them, I'm an aircraft mechanic for those of you who don't know. I was helping change the flaps on a 737, and they didn't warn me that they were going to start jiggling, so they dropped flaps on my head. That was great. But even surgery can cause that, so really, we don't know when it started. Maybe it was starting to develop over the course of Lyme because I've had it for so long. I don't know. I just know I've been really sick for a really long time, and it just has continuously gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. But supposedly PoTS is extremely common, which I didn't know. That's something I had never heard of before I got it, but it's affecting between 1 and 3 million Americans. It's a lot of people, but not a lot of people know about it. So if I can kind of help bring a little bit of awareness that maybe you're thinking, ooh, I felt kind of funny. Maybe I should talk to my doctor about this. It's definitely something that it could be worth investigating. It's not necessarily a heart condition because it is your nervous system. So it's your nervous system causing your heart to beat a little faster. It's not necessarily your heart itself. It's a different cause, you know? So there's lots of different symptoms that you can get with PoTS. For me, it's a lot of dizziness, lightheadedness. You kind of feel strange. I like I said, I don't faint, but I do get near fainting. I know this is where it's kind of we don't know which one it is for me, because Lyme disease can cause it as well as brain fog. So is it the PoTS? Is it the Lyme? We don't know. And then it can also be exhaustion, different fatigues, anxiety, feeling nervous, shaking, sweating, shortness of breath, which I have as well. That's why we're not sure if it's Babesia or it's just the PoTS. Could also be chest pain, headaches, just kind of the feeling of not feeling good. So, what is that? Malaise? But it could also just be your face paling and your hands getting discolored. Your sleep getting disrupted from all of the different things, whether it be night sweats, your heart racing, you have chest pains. So it's a lot of different things. For me especially, I was born in Arizona, so I struggled a lot with the heat. The heat is not good for PoTS. And it's also, I also really like to take hot showers. Like my joke is I like to boil like a little lobster, and that's not good for PoTS patients. You should not be taking hot showers, because I do get out of the shower and I feel like I'm gonna faint. It's hard. I've also found that keeping your arms above your head for extended periods of time is not good either. That it kind of makes you feel like you're gonna faint a little bit. So when I blow dry my hair, I have to hang my head upside down to blow dry it. And it's also some people, when they exercise or like a lot of heavy movements, that can also cause it to get a little bit worse. Just being sick in general can cause it to be worse sometimes as well. And even menstruation. There's a lot of things that can affect it in different ways, so you just really have to listen to your body and what your body is telling you. For me, when I got diagnosed with it, my Lyme doctor had a general idea that that's what it was. It was PoTS. You can get the tilt table test, which is the more clinical way of getting it, which my neurologist told me that's the only way to do it, which is not the truth. You can honestly do it the way that she diagnosed me. She put the heart rate monitor on my finger, had me stand up, measured my beats per minute, had me lay down, measured my beats per minute, and then had me stand back up and measure it. And like I said before, I think I raised up to 35 beats per minute, which it can be as little as 30, or I honestly don't even know the top. There's a lot that can go to it. There's also apparently blood and urine tests that can cause your PoTS conditions and stuff. I didn't do that. Mine was just the positional. There's also something called the QSART, which it measures your nerves. There's an autonomic breath test that you can do. And you can also do skin nerve biopsies, which again, I just did the super basic thing. So if that is something you are concerned about, I would definitely talk to your doctor. For me, when I definitely feel like my PoTS is kind of starting to get out of control, a lot of salt is definitely needed. I have a lot of these little like Mexican candies that it's basically just salt and flavored sugar. I'll eat that, or something very salty. I like super salty French fries. That always seems to help because when my pot starts to get out of control, it makes my migraines and my headaches get worse. So that also seems to help. And you're not supposed to eat large meals at a time. You're supposed to eat small things throughout the day rather than just kind of eating until you're really full. I really like pickles and olives, so that's also a really good thing to kind of give yourself more salt. I started drinking, it's LMNT. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it element or what it is, but it's the little packets that you pour into a water bottle, and it's basically just a salty drink. But it's awesome if you're also an athlete, but it benefits your PoTS. So I don't know if I answered any of your questions about PoTS. If you have other questions, please feel free to email me. I'm going to put my email down in the description below, or even comment below and let me know, do you have PoTS as well? What do you do to manage yours? And what other questions do you have? I don't know if I covered everything, but I'm trying to give you all the knowledge to the best of my abilities. So thank you all so much for sticking around, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.